Hi, I'm so excited to be here. Today we're talking about uh, everything about the chaos in the online community. Now, I don't know what just happened. I've been in the coaching space since like 2018, but for whatever reason, we are in a season where there's a bunch of BS happening. There's a bunch of coaches claiming they're gurus, charging $25,000, and they have no idea what they're doing, and their business back end is so messy. And the more I run in these circles, the more I realize that the online space is truly a tiny, tiny place to be. When I interact with coaches or people I've never even talked to before, we usually have someone that we know or have talked to or have learned from or programs we've been in or programs we've almost been in. And it's just crazy how the online is so expansive, but it's also a tiny corner of the internet, especially when you niche down. So today I want to talk to you about leadership in the online space because there's a lot of coaches cosplaying as leaders. And oop, I'm just going to take these off so there's not a glare. Cosplaying as leaders, and they really just have and invest a lot of money into production and marketing and sales that everything after you've clicked like take my credit card information, it's just messy. It is not something that is professional. This shit wouldn't fly if you were in corporate America. It wouldn't fly in the matrix. It wouldn't fly. It shouldn't fly for other online entrepreneurs. But alas, it is. People are showing up not knowing what they're talking about and selling you into packages that are 5, 10, 15K. And today I'm going to talk about what true leadership looks like, um, how to use discernment as a student, and then when you are the leader, offering products, offering services, and taking money from people that they just want to learn from you, like how you should really be showing up as a mentor in the coaching space to bring some integrity back, to bring some level of professionalism and high standards back to the coaching industry. Because let me just say, this is a wild time to be alive. All right, I'm gonna take a sip of water before we buckle up. Okay, so I have my notes. What's beautiful about the online space is literally anyone can join. Anyone can become a coach. It's like $13 to get a domain. It is like $50 to start a website or a blog. It's free to start social media. Most platforms have a free version. It is so inexpensive to create an online business that everyone is doing it. There's so many people that are like, "I wanna become a coach. I want to make money on the internet. I wanna be able to live in Tulum or Bali or Dubai or Mykonos," or insert beautiful place. But what is happening is there are some people on the coaching streets that are just saying, "Hey, you need to be one step ahead." "Oh, you've never done this?" Well, just believing that you can do this is enough to charge $5,000. Just believing in yourself and just being really confident when you're showing up online consistently, that allows you to just add a 1, like add 10,000 to any coaching container, and it is. It is that valuable because you say it is. Now, while energetically, I agree with them. But at the same time, with integrity, I don't agree with them. Sometimes when we think about energetics, we're holding ourselves back from charging what we're worth Because obviously, if we're spending like 400 hours on a project and we need our base rate to be like $50, that's at least $2,000, $2,500, $3,000 package. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about coaches that are charging 5, 10, 15, $25,000 and you get 10 hours with them. You get a weekend with them. You get a Voxer day with them. That shit wild and shouldn't be happening, but it is. And here's the thing, the market will always correct itself. So when we quit giving our resources to the people who are full of fluff, that's when they will no longer exist anymore. That's a whole nother tangent. But because it's so inexpensive to become a coach, anyone can say they're a coach on their Instagram handle, on a landing page, on a Google file that they have linked like it's a website. Anyone can do this. And that's a beautiful gift, but it's also allows anyone to do this. Even the unqualified folks that have no idea what they're talking about, they're just like, if I believe in myself, it will be. And so many people, if you haven't been in business long or you're starting a new business and you're fresh and you're excited and you're creative and you have all these ideas of how this business that you're going to start is going to absolutely change your life and give you financial freedom and allow you to travel and allow you to be home with your kids and allow you to work 3 hours a day, 3 days a week. While online coaching can absolutely deliver that level of freedom, and I mean true freedom, it does take actually learning how to run a business, be a service provider before you really reach that level of freedom. So we have coaches on these internet streets claiming, hey, I'm here to help you build a business so you can create freedom in your life and live the life that you want and make millions of dollars a year and have fun while doing it. Cool. That sounds like exactly what I want to do. But if you're new, is this the right type of mentorship for you? Ultimately, ultimately it's the business owner's decision. It's your decision on how you spend your money, on who you spend your money, on how you spend your time, how you spend your coveted assets, especially if you're escaping the corporate world. It's your choice how you move forward and who you invest in. But when coaches online say you just have to feel good or you just have to be confident and you're going to make money, that's really doing a not discernment, a disservice to all those people who have not been in business, that have no idea what it takes to be an entrepreneur and are just trying to learn how to get clients. Because that's usually what people want to do is how are you exploding so well, so fast, so quickly, and making so much money? They're selling marketing, they're selling production, they're selling visuals without actually diving deeper into some of the structural things that business owners need. They stay in the woo without the do. I just made that up. You heard it here, folks. But by doing this, they're lowering the standards. They're lowering integrity. They're ruining their reputation. Because sis, these streets are tiny and word gets around that someone paid you $25,000 and you did not deliver. That is when you get taken to court. That is when lawyers get involved. You can't just charge $25,000 and just say, oh, I'm just going to talk to you an hour a week and it's going to be great. We're going to get you all kinds of money from that. They're probably going to get like jazzed up and excited, but that's not actually going to move the needle forward. You need energetics, you need embodiment, you need that confidence piece, but you also need systems and processes and like a lead magnet and an email list and an email funnel and social media consistently and a laptop and a ton of different things to show up online. But that coach isn't going to tell you that. That coach isn't going to actually tell you what it takes to make money online. Not really, because it's going to be all up in here and not enough down here. Because of the lowering standards and efficacy and integrity that is coming up, at least on my coaching streets, on my internet streets, on my Instagram feed, it's really degrading all professional services. It's lowering the bar. It's lowering the standards of what it means to be a professional service provider, what it means to actually be worth your price tag, what it means to have practiced something for 10, 15 years, and then to be bamboozled by someone who hasn't even done what you've been doing for 15 years. When I hear someone say, I sold a course or I am selling a course on how to host a meeting or a conference, and I just hosted my first one last month, and while I was calling in 100 people, 15 people showed up, and it looked like a child's birthday party. But now you're going to sell a course that you know how to plan conferences. That's the scammy BS that has got to go away. The only way that crap goes away is by the market telling them, oh man, no ma'am, I'm not buying. I'm not buying what you're putting down. So I'm going to get into a couple things from two different lenses. As a student, because I've been a student, I've been hiring mentors since 2018, 2017, sometime before the pandemic. And then I'm going to speak to the mentors and the leaders, and I'm also going to speak to myself as someone who's stepping into mentorship and leadership and what I see could be an awakening. Let's get into it. Okay. So, as a student, I've been a student from many coaches since 2018. My first coach was a mindset coach because I was like, I don't feel like I'm worthy enough to have a business or that I'm good enough for people to pay me. All those things that happen when you first start out. Because in the beginning, you're literally learning. I hired a mindset person in the beginning because I needed help. I knew how to get up here right before this would come. So I worked with her for like 6 months. And then I stepped into, oh, I need someone to actually teach me what it's like to be an online business owner. So they introduced me to systems like platforms like Kajabi and Thrivecart and Haro for answering the public and how to find like SEO topics and topics to talk about. Excuse me. They really helped me open my eyes. Like, I didn't even know what a landing page was. I didn't know what a landing page was. I didn't know what a tripwire was. I didn't know what an offer bump was. I didn't know what I didn't know because in corporate world, unless you're like in marketing and sales, like you don't know that stuff. I was an accountant. I interacted with customers. I didn't do any of that crap back there. I didn't know what an email campaign was. So I had to learn. I had to put in that energy to actually learning what it's like or what it takes to be an online business owner. So that was the second coach I hired. That one was a 12-week program. Yeah, a 12-week program for like $2,500. You know what? I learned a lot. I learned a lot. I also joined another very famous low ticket coach, her program, and I also learned a lot. And it was only like $900 at the time. Granted, I was still in corporate world, so these dollar amounts sounded insane to me, but I knew I needed to learn. I knew I needed to learn from the people who were being successful. So while I invested like $900 into this coach, into this program that was more like like passive, like here's the recordings, go and watch the videos, here's a workbook. The $2,500 was closer proximity because I was like, oh, I want someone to learn directly from who's going to answer my questions in real time. So I started to grow. The next person I invested in was a sales coach. That was the biggest ticket item that I had purchased. She was talking about energetics and different female archetypes, and she was just talking about sales in a way that I wanted to learn more. Within that same week, I landed a client that was the exact same price tag as that program. So I was like, huh, the universe provides. Let's keep going. I've been I've had several coaches since then. I don't want to say that these are the first, but this is the first initiation into the online coaching space. As I moved through different coaches programs, you also get a gift of seeing their back end. How do they organize their emails? How do they organize their content? Do they have a video? Do they have a workbook? Is it hosted on YouTube? Is it hosted on Vimeo? What How are they showing up and supporting and delivering the results? Because that is part of the game if you're an online coach is what's the best way for me to create community, to teach what I wanna teach, and that's not gonna give me a headache when links break or, like, Zaps break down or whatever. So I had to step into that level for me. And the more I got in the space, it seems as if the first multiple five-figure container for a while, like through 2022, like everyone had systems and operations and processes and at least one customer service representative. So, like, if I had a question, they would be able to answer me about the program, about like whatever, about how to access a module. I don't have access to a module. Can you give me access? Like, there's some sort of support component. Like, it was a full-fleshed program that was already created. I wasn't waiting on lessons to come out. It wasn't just an idea written on a Google sheet or on a Google Doc and saying, "Hey, this is what I'm creating. Do you wanna buy it for, like, 5K?" That stuff didn't start until, like, 2023, where I feel like the hustle changed to how many programs and offers can I continuously launch over and over again and keep growing my audience and keep making money and keep making money and keep making money. And let me say the same things in different coaching container titles and it's basically the same thing, but I'm keep making money because it sounds like I'm constantly launching and we're riding a wave and a flow and people are showing up. So what I'm talking about is essentially when you are new or haven't been in the internet streets, or maybe you just don't know what you need, I suggest really using discernment with who you invest in. Do they have more substance than just pretty photos or curated content or production value? Like, do they have more? Are they giving more substance than just some vague carousel post as like how I made $1 million in 3 years and then dot, dot, dot. And then you go through to read it. And it's like, I showed up consistently. I'm embodying a true leader. I am just showing myself off. But like, sis, I get it. But like it gets to be easy, but like there's a line where it goes from like truly being easy or truly being scammy. So people just want to show because they want to get closer to you and your secret sauce. So when you join programs or when you're thinking about investing in mentors, what do you hope to learn? Do you really just truly hope to learn, like to watch them move and how they move? Are you watching for how they show up online, how often they launch, like what their email structure looks like, how they're getting clients and people are coming to their Instagram live in droves? Most of that can be seen for free, by the way. Or are you joining to learn like a sales process, what a sales conversation looks like, what a sales conversation looks like in DMs or on a connection call or in an email, like what the funnel should be. Being very clear of what this coach is going to deliver, like what they're offering and what they're supposed to deliver, and knowing what you're going to get out of it is really, really big. It allows you to hold yourself accountable for showing up and learning the skill, but it also requires them to be accountable or requires you to have awareness when they're not delivering what they promised. A lot of coaches are saying one thing and then pulling the rug out and delivering something very different. I once joined a program where the coach that I've loved for multiple years offered a very high ticket program. And from stage, they promised a complete done for you funnel. You don't have to do anything, and our people will work with you to get the language right and the photos right and the whole thing just set up for you. Not only that, you're gonna have weekly touch points with me. You're gonna have close proximity to me. You're gonna learn from me. You're also gonna go on a luxury 4-day retreat. You're also gonna like they just kept piling it on. They offer stacked, just like Russell Brunson. Offer stacked their program. So I was like, hell yeah, you're giving me a funnel. You're reviewing my copy. That was what I really wanted. You're reviewing my copy. We're gonna do a retreat in wherever. I want sisterhood. I'm craving a community. And then I get to learn from you every week. I get to be in your energy every week. Okay, done. Done. There was more to it, but done. So we get 3 months into the program, and the funnel was just a template in a program that I had to pay for that that coach wasn't even using for their programs. You know, the retreat details, we were 3 weeks out, and there was no details. There was no details. We had to ask them, someone else asked them, like, "When should we arrive? When do we leave? Like, when should we fly in? What airport should we be flying in? Do we need to share space? Do we need to come up with, like, accommodations for the first and last night?" Like, I thought we were getting 4 days. It was really 2 days and then 2 half days. It's not a full 4 days. So it was like it just I was like, "This is awful. This is not anything I was promised." Even though I love this coach, it was just very clear to me that the integrity, her containers 2 years ago when I first joined, was a lot she had a lot higher standard back then. And I don't know if it's because she's making a lot of money, I don't know, but she's just kind of lost touch with actually helping. It's more like I should get paid to exist versus like I wanna actually help you build your business. And I think that's something really important to share is because even though you might love how they show up online and love their aesthetics and love the words that they use, you have to use discernment of, are they actually delivering what they promised? And you have to be willing to take action when they're not delivering what they promised. So, also, what do you need to do to get the most out of the container? So it's not just them being honest about what they're delivering. It's not just what do you hope to learn, but like what is your actual plan for showing up, for learning the material, for actually doing the work? Because a lot of people invest and don't do the work because it's like they're expecting, oh, now I'm in this person's container where I'm going to meet other people and I don't actually have to do the work, which is doing you and your business and your clients a disservice. So, what do you need to do to actually do the work? It's kind of like going to the gym. Like, you can't just buy the membership and expect the results to come. So, you need to take radical responsibility for actually using the program and seeing the results. And then the third and very big, very, very big point as a student, and sometimes you don't know this until you get behind the scenes or in the containers, is are they living or running their business in real life, like a business or life that you want? And let me explain. When you're most like the five people you hang out with, you're most like the five people you surround yourself with. So if you're surrounding yourself with a mentor and you're looking up to them and going, "Oh, look at them go." And they have really good aesthetics. They have really good like photos and they go on photo shoots and they have production and they have a lot of people liking and following them. So you're like, "Oh, they're a beacon for success." So I obviously want to get into their containers. But once you get into the container, it's a mess. They're using 4 platforms to deliver this $25,000 offer, and it's being run in Facebook. Like, on what planet that a $25,000 offer is being glued together with a VA and a prayer and a whole bunch of free applications? Is that how you wanna run your business? And maybe it is. Maybe that's like you're just like, "Messy, let's go." But, like, this is who you're learning from. Is this how you wanna learn your business? Do you want to actually grow a business that you get to take a vacation, like, for a month away from, and it runs without you? Or are you trying to have the biggest profit margin so then you can exit after 3 years? Or are you just trying to get money and scam people out? And you don't know you're scamming people out of money until you've already done it, and then someone complains about it. So, when you look at mentorship, are they living a life that you want to live? So for example, for me, when I look at mentorship, which I'm on a mentorship pause right now. When I look at mentorship, do they have a solid support system so they are not the keystone of their business? Could they sell their business for 15x the value today? And if you haven't read How I Built This, you really should. But this goes back to that book where the author is narrating a story about how he was not getting the valuation to sell his marketing agency that he wanted. And then when he asked for feedback, well, why is this? Why is this so? How can I get more money out of my business? It was because you are literally the business. Until you can remove yourself out of it, I'm not convinced that it can run without you. And if it can't run without you, then the business isn't valuable to me because it can't make money without you. So when I look at mentorships and I look at who I invest in, the price tag doesn't scare me, it's the value I get out of it. Are they living a life that I want? Do they actually have team? Can they answer questions around what it's like to hire, what to look for hiring, how to fire people? Can they actually lead me through a journey of business refinement, offer refinement, burning things down and building them back up again? Can they actually take me on a journey and be relatable to, well, yep, I tried this. It was awful. So burned it down, turned it off, started again, and this is what I learned, and then I burned it down, started again, and now I'm here. Can they actually walk me through the life cycle of entrepreneurship? Have they been around the block long enough to actually talk me through all the seasons of scaling and growth and plateauing and hiring and firing and expanding my capacity? Can they do that? Because a lot of these coaches are like, "I've been a coach for, like, 3 months, and now I'm gonna teach you how to run a business," when they've never ran a business before. They don't know. They just believe they can. I never wanna run a business that I can't take a vacation from because the whole thing will go up in flames. I never wanna run a business that I can't trust my employees to run it when I am on vacation. I am aspiring to lead a generation of business owners through actually running an online business and not just showing up really well on Instagram. Like, I want to get back to being a service provider with integrity and substance and standards, and none of this bullshit that's on the internet streets today. Okay, so now that I've talked about where I'm going or how I see myself as this mentor for event planners and business owners online, what it actually takes to have a successful event business. There's so many ways to do it. What it's like to have an online service-based business, how it feels to actually teach something. Even I've been doing events since 2016. And then I volunteered for events since 2010. So I have so much experience, but I still get imposter syndrome. And yet Susie Q over here, who's hosted one conference, is trying to teach conference planning. Shut the front door. No, no way. But I'm over here with 80 events under my belt. Anyway, I digress. I digress. That's a me problem. But as a mentor, I want to run my coaching consulting side with so much integrity that it's over delivering. It's expansive. It is a high standard. I expect progress and transformation out of my students. I expect to be able to hold containers while everything is burning down around me, or like my clients' events have X, Y, and Z to do. So as a mentor, I implore you to teach what you actually know. What is a skill that you've actually mastered and not just done one time? You can't call yourself like a social media manager or marketer or digital marketer if you haven't actually independently grown different people's social media, like more than one platform, and definitely not just your platform. Oops, definitely not your platform.